Here you go.
All right. Well, good morning. Well, I am so excited today because I get to talk to JoAnn pretty much every day. And I've just been able to watch this transformation of just her boldness and a glow and a magnetism and the confidence, and just everything just keeps ramping up every week. And so we were chatting and she was just sharing, she's really invested into her personal development through some other trainers and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, JoAnn, I feel like you just gave me a training. You have got to train on a Monday meeting. So I want to introduce to you, if you guys don't know JoAnn retired from the military. She's a registered nurse. She has a couple of books getting ready to be published within the next, one year, at least the first one, right, will be in the next year or so. And she is just really stepping up everything in her life. So JoAnn is going to share with us today. So round of applause for JoAnn.
Jake, am I allowed to share my screen? I want to share a picture.
If you ask nicely, I will allow you.
Okay, please.
If everyone else can mute yourself, that would be lovely.
Let's see, let me see if I can. Okay, this first one. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay. So when you look at that picture, and so there's no right or wrong answer, because I'm going to show you a couple pictures. But
you want to click on the picture?
Yeah, click on whichever one you want us to see.
Can you see it or no?
Like JoAnn, right now we're just seeing like your library and the little picture of Tim.
Oh, you can't see it. Oh, what about that? Can you see that?
No.
We're seeing all your thumbnails.
Reshare. What we need to do is if you open up those pictures individually, and then when you go to share, you can click on the individual picture that you want us to see.
Okay, let me just go there, and then let me see there, and there. Can you see that one?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, this is my grandson, and I think he was a week old in that picture. But now I want to share another one with you. Okay, so just give me a second here. Maybe I will share it. Because my first topic is going to be, okay, hold on. I am not as good at this as Jake is. So
I just had a lot of practice. That just means that you need to do these more, JoAnn, so you get more practice.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, now let me go back to Zoom here and share screen. Okay, there you go. Okay, so my first topic is actually do life messy, or do it messy, right? And I think this is a good example. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay. And you can see the first picture that I posted of Braxton, 5-6 days old. And then now here he's 1 year old, right? A lot of changes in 1 year. And you can see the difference. Obviously, we can see the difference in a child and a baby of how much they grow and transform and the new stuff that they learn. And so my first topic is just do life messy. So I want to start off with, hold on, I'm going to get a stop share. Get out of that. Okay. So, and I don't know how many times that you all have heard that. I'm sure that you've heard it several different places, and I can't remember when I first heard it, but a lot of different things kind of resonated with me when people would say that. But it finally clicked with me of what that really meant to me. And what it meant is quit worrying about being perfect. I'm never going to be perfect at the things I do. And what your spirit prompts you to do it, engage in it. Stop worrying about doing it with perfection, because none of us are perfect. And all these, coaches or famous people like Eric Worre and people like that, people that you see very successful, they did it all imperfect too along their way. And I think sometimes we think that we can't do it until we're perfect, or we can't do it until we know more. We can't do it until we know, until I'm very, I am very confident and comfortable in doing this. Well, I am now very confident, but I'm still not very comfortable in sharing like our business, right? I mean, I will share our business, but when people go, well, what do you get paid on this? I'm like, you know what? I don't really know all that, and I'm not very good at that. But can I send you a video, or can I get my girlfriend on the line to share that with you? Because she knows way much more. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to be imperfect, right? And so I don't really care what people think of me anymore. I used to, but I stopped that. I love constructive criticism. I love loving advice. I love when a friend would reach out to me and say, hey, I just want you to know, I love you. I just want to give you a little constructive criticism on that speech you made on Zoom or whatever it was. I will accept that, right? But I think we're all women on here today, and I think women are kind of the worst at judging other people. And so we judge so easily, and that's one thing I love about the Juice Plus team. We just all get on here, we share, no judgment zone, right? We're not judging each other, we're praising each other. And so that's really what you want. I don't know if Susie will care, but I'm going to share this real quick. My renewing of myself really started when Ron was on hospice. I'm a hospice nurse, and I was so horrified the way that things were going for Ron on hospice that I thought I had to do something. I had already started writing a hospice book, but that was another confirmation to me that people really needed to know what to expect on hospice and what they deserved, especially at the end of life. And I remember very specifically where I was, and when Grace called me one morning and she had told me something, and she said, they can't get this drug or whatever it was. And I said, oh, hold on, let me just make a phone call. And I remember calling that director of that hospice company and telling her what she's going to do. And if she doesn't do it, that basically I already had a medical director lined up. He was going to prescribe it for him, and we will get that medication. And I said, oh, and by the way, don't tell that family that you can't get that medication, because I called several pharmacies in your area and you can get that medication. And I even called your own pharmacy. I was so mad. I was in the middle of the Ozarks on a boat when I made that call. But I remember that distinctly, because that was the switch in my brain that I am going to write my hospice book, because people need to know the truth, right? So do life messy, right? I mean, I'm still not perfect, but I'm gonna move forward. The other life-changing moment for me was when I attended a conference called Life on Fire. And it was life-changing for me because it was, again, are you doing what God has called you to do? Or are you making excuses of why you can't do that? And so that really hit me. And I knew that I was not really doing complete, full out what God has called me to do. And I knew for me that there was more. I had met Angela at this conference, and she's also a hospice nurse, and we connected. And you know what? It's interesting because we talk about how interesting it was that God connected us. We didn't know why, but she and I kind of had same thoughts, same ideas. We see so many caregivers of patients that don't take care of themselves, and they're failing because they're not taking care of themselves, right? They're not getting the good nutrition in themselves because they're so busy caregiving and caring for their loved one. So we started a thing on Clubhouse called Nursing Through Nutrition. And every Wednesday we get together and we talk about nursing through nutrition, of how we can take better care of our bodies, whatever situation we're in, but how do we do more good for our bodies and feed ourselves with better nutrition? And we talk about Juice Plus, right? So, I mean, God just put her in my life, and her and I had that same thought process. But at that conference, I also met another beautiful woman, LaGreta. Her and I connected instantly. Do you ever have those moments where you met somebody and you feel like you've known them for like all your life? And I spent 3-4 days with her on several different occasions at lunch and dinner, and we had a glass of wine together. And we decided we were going to be accountability partners for each other, and that we were going to be prayer partners, and that we were going to write the book that God had designed us to write. She was going to write a book on COVID, and she's a nurse. She went to volunteer and did a traveling nurse and worked on all COVID units. And so we were going to start this right after Life on Fire. Right after Life on Fire, I got COVID. And then I had texted her and said, oh man, I can't meet this week because I have COVID and not feeling well, whatever. She had got COVID. And unfortunately, she did not make it through her COVID. She passed away on August 6th. And that was also life-changing for me because I had only known her at that time 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. And I felt like I had lost a best friend. I felt like I had lost a dear friend that I had known for so many years, because just in that short amount of time, she really changed my life. And so at that conference, though, I met some amazing people besides Angela, LaGreta, but I also met a famous author, speaker that I ended up getting to know. We got this opportunity and really propelled me to write a book, right? To finish writing my book. And at that time I was writing a book on back pain with my business partner. And it scared the poop out of me. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to retreat and say, no, I can't do this. No, I'm not smart enough. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be featured in a book of this famous international speaker and author. And yet something in me, and I know it was God, I know it's the Holy Spirit, and I'm a strong believer in the Lord, and I know it was him saying, yes, you can. I created you for this. You are created for this. I wrote a book about you already in heaven. You need to start fulfilling your book. And there is a book about each and every one of you that is written about you in heaven. That is, you totally succeed. Everybody's on your side, but yet we are kind of our own worst enemy at times. So my next topic would be is have fun. Even though it scared the poop right out of me, it seriously did. But have fun doing it instead of worrying so much about, is everything going to work out? Is this going to happen? Are we going to get our book done in time? And, you know, we were being featured in another book. And then I was starting to stress out like, oh, is this book going to be done in time? Or it didn't get done in time yet. And guess what? That other book didn't come out quite yet as they thought. It was supposed to be out January 6th and it's not out yet. So that's okay. But like, I didn't need to stress about that. I just needed to have fun and enjoy it. And that's what I did. I started to be more intentional about having fun instead of so worried about, are all these things going to work out? And sorry, I got to change my notes, and I'll have to tell you the story about the note thing too. When I started just having fun and being myself, I felt so much more comfortable about just posting live videos and posting pictures and taking pictures of myself, even though if you would have told me a year ago that I would be right now taking a picture of myself every single day when I go out or before I go out the door, I would have said, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. But guess what? I joined a group, and that's what we do. We take a picture every day of ourselves before we go out the door or while we're out and about, right? And so that boldness is coming out. And taking that picture, I didn't really like it. I wanted to be critical of myself at first. But again, I'm in a no judgment group. And it is all about, oh my gosh, I love that necklace on you. That goes so great with the outfit. Like, I love to dress up, right? And I think it's so important of how you're showing up. And really, that's the third topic of how are you showing up? So I asked that because in this group, I never really thought about it before. And I am talking to myself when I say this, how are you showing up on Zoom? Have you ever thought about your background? What does your background look like when you're showing up on Zoom? Whatever it Zoom be, whether it's just, this Zoom or it's another Zoom. And, we're all friends, teammates here right now, so we may not care about dressing up. But in this group that I'm in, I'm learning that it makes a difference in my mindset how I'm showing up. It makes a difference of how I look on Zoom or how my background looks. And I feel more confident dressing up. Now I'm talking about myself, and this may not be for you. And I'm not telling you that y'all got to go out and dress up now for next Monday's Morning Juice Plus Zoom, right? That's not what I'm saying here. But I'm saying pay attention to yourself too, of how are you presenting yourself, right? And I do think it's amazing that this morning I went to the coffee shop to meet a friend for coffee. Two things happened. She's been a friend for years. And she has gone through her husband with a double lung transplant, cystic fibrosis, right? He probably shouldn't even be alive because he's in his mid 40s. Most of them don't live past 40. So we've been friends for a long time, and I was a huge prayer partner of hers through that whole time, and we just really connected. But this morning she said she's never taken Juice Plus. She's never, I've shared it with her. They thought about it and they've never have taken it, but she's still my friend and I love her. But she said, you know what? I thought about you this morning as I was coming here. She said, my dad needs Juice Plus. And you know what? We're just going to get it for him or something. But would you be willing to talk to him? Would you be willing to drive to Lincoln to talk to him? He is a Nebraska coach. I said, of course I will, right? I didn't expect that, but it happened. And this guy that was sitting right next to us, all dressed up, his casual business. And he said, I'm sorry, I heard you say something about juice. And she said, yeah, she sells Juice Plus. Oh my goodness, she's a nurse. She's amazing. She's all about health and prevention. I didn't say nothing. And before you know it, I was handing my card to this guy, right? So is what I'm saying is that be always mindful of where you're at, how you look, and do people want to do business with you? And you never know. See, in that over that conversation that he just slightly overheard and happened to just question about it. And he thought it was juice. He was actually looking for a juice type that he could buy. But when I explained, I said, oh no, it gets better than that. It's in capsules or a gummy, right? So I was having fun out having coffee with my friend. And just like that, I've got two prospects, right? And because I showed up for coffee with my friend for one, and she happened to think of me and give me a referral, and then the guy next door. You just never know what is going to happen or who you're going to run into. And I'm all about, I want to be comfortable. It's cold here in Nebraska. I need my sweatshirt or my sweater or whatever it is. And sometimes the way I was showing up at the Zooms, I wasn't being very presentable. And I apologize about that for myself. But it is attracting people to you with confidence. And people are attracted to your confidence, to whether you're fun. And look at how many promotions we've had on this team, right? They're attracted to that person because it's like they're either funny, they love the way that they are, they love the way they show up, they can trust them. So people want to do business with you because of how you've presented yourself. So it's just something to think about. The other thing on this, one of the coaching programs I'm on, like the background, I never really thought about my background too much. It's like, do you have too much headspace around your Zoom? And, you need to close it in a little bit more and all this. I'm like, really? I would have never thought about that, but I'm learning. Okay. The point is I'm learning. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning. And one thing I'm a lot more confident about is just talking with total strangers. And I don't know. And I think a lot of that, it's really the Holy Spirit inside of me prompting, like, go talk to that guy. I was at a winery and I felt something to go talk to this guy. So I went and talked to him and I asked him a question and we just started talking. And then before you know it, we had exchanged cards before we were done. Now, I don't know if anything will ever come of that, but one thing I have learned, I don't even care about the outcome anymore. And when you're not attached to the outcome, you can be relaxed and confident and have fun because it's not all about the outcome. You will have many people in your life that will be there for a certain reason that may never be a Juice Plus customer or distributor. And even though I am writing my book on hospice and I am diligently working on it very hard, I also know I need to also share Juice Plus with those caregivers. And I struggled with that. Like, how am I going to do with that? I don't know how many of you know Jim Packard, but he was Eric Worre's mentor. He helped him with the GoPro book and got that all published and everything. Great guy. He's in his mid 70s, right? He is rebranding himself in his mid 70s. He doesn't need to. He's a he's an 8-figure income. And he doesn't need the money, and he did this coaching program that I got into that is really inexpensive. And I just kept thinking, why? But he said, it's not about the money. It is about helping people. It is about seeing people grow. And you look at this team, holy crap, Vicky that got her promotion, like, look at her growth, and so many other people on this Zoom that are just growing and doing life messy and having fun. And those are perfect examples of what I'm really talking about. They're growing and doing and having fun and doing it messy. No, they haven't been perfect, and they may have not been at their best one day or another, but they still did it. They still went for it. They're still going for it. But Jim is in his mid 70s, rebranding himself, and I had a Zoom call with him. It's supposed to be 30 minutes. We ended up talking for an hour and a half. And I told him my dilemma about, I really want to share Juice Plus with people. And he says, I don't know how you work a network marketing into your hospice book. And he's real serious. And I'm like, okay. And then he just started laughing. He goes, but you're going to figure it out, and I know you are. And right when he said that, I said, well, can I put at the last chapter, can I say specifically like a chapter to caregivers? I don't even have to mention Juice Plus, but are you caring for yourself? Are you taking the time to do for you? And just explain about some statistics and you know what? If you need help in that area, I'm here for you too. He said, and leave it as that. And because I said, well, where do I go from there? He goes, leave it as that. Tell them that you've been in health and wellness, you've been a nurse for this long or whatever, and you would love to help them also while helping their loved ones, and leave it as that. And so I learned a lot from this guy in just an hour and a half. And some of the tips that he said to keep growing your business, I said, what have you done over the years that have really propelled you forward? And he said, my DMO basically is, for sure, regardless, even if I'm on vacation, he said, I reach out to 2 people a month, whether it be text, email, and if it's, or not a month, sorry, a day, 2 people a day. And he said, and if I'm not reaching out to 2, then I have to for sure call and talk to 1 person a day. So it's either I reach out to 2 by text or email, or at least talk to 1 person a day. But he said the other thing, he goes, I look at things so differently. I pick up a book, and it was the art of networking or something. That the second edition is coming out, I think, within the next week. But he said there was 365 famous, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure income earners that put a page in there about what they do, right? And he said, when I picked up that book, he said, I looked at 365 prospects that I can now talk to. I'm going to look them up and I'm going to email them. And I said, well, Jim, you're a little bit more popular than I am. He goes, it has nothing to do with it. He said, do you know that I signed up for a network marketing company because this girl from Texas that I didn't even know reached out to me personally and said, hey, I don't know if you would be interested, but I really just wanted to share this with you. And he said, and because she had the guts and the boldness to reach out to me, he said, I signed up with her. I mean, I looked into it. I liked it. I was interested. So I signed up with her. And he said, and then I had remembered that some guy had told me about it. I don't know. He said about 6 months prior, he said, but the guy was kind of an a-hole. He said, so who do I want to sign up with, right? And I thought that was interesting. I learned so much from him. But he talked about why do you feel confident? Why, what is your 3 things? And I said, I've really, my word for the year is boldness and fun And I said, and that didn't come to me right away, but it's because I'm learning to do life messy. I don't have to be perfect. And how many people have we watched on webinars that things didn't go perfect, right? He goes, and it's always going to happen. Notes. I have notes right here. And he said, don't be afraid to say, oh, let me look at my notes. He said, sometimes I forget and sometimes I don't say focus and I talk too much. He said, so I write notes. He goes, and I will always tell people that on his, and he always had almost every Zoom that I've been on, he'll go, well, let me look at my notes. And it's okay to do that because none of us are perfect and none of us are going to remember everything that we really want to say. So in my hospice book, I have the front page dedicated to Ron and Susie, and because they have been significant people in my life that inspired me and have really, I was telling Susie that sometimes when I'm struggling, and I have struggled over the past 6 months and things that have happened in my life, and that I don't tell everybody about, and I don't need to, but I've struggled and I've asked people to pray for me and just say, I'm struggling. I don't have to always say what I'm struggling with, but I say sometimes I will wear that t-shirt to bed because I feel comfortable in it. I feel Ron inspired me so much. I feel like if Ron can do this, if Ron can still go to the gym every day when he was doing chemo and all these treatments, then I can do this, right? We gather our strength from something or someone. And you know what? It's what gets us through. And I have that t-shirt that we made for after Ron passed away. I have it hanging in my closet. So that is the first thing I see when I go in there, because that's my reminder every day. For one, I need to get up and show up. And two, if I see a need, fill a need, right? And three, I am stronger than I think. I can do this. And I don't care what everybody else might think or say. And I have had somebody reach out to me and say something about an outfit I was wearing. I posted it on Facebook with, I don't even remember the picture of who I was with, but I thought, you know what? I just said, oh, thanks for letting me know, but I really love that outfit. It's one of my favorites. And now that person is really not somebody I want to go meet for coffee and meet for dinner. It was a critical comment. And I thought, I don't need that in my life. Why do we want that in our life? And that's one thing Jim said. I had showed him the video of James Malachuk. He gave us a review kind of for our book and, just basically said you should work with Pearl and JoAnn. But anyway, he said, now be careful when you're on this road to, doing more and you're out there more and you're putting yourself out there more. He says, your true friends are going to show up. He said, and then those people in your life that you call friends may not really be those friends. And you'll know by the comments they say, or you'll know by the things that they say or that you heard from somebody else. He says, and you don't want any part of it. He says, that happened to me when I first started my greeting card business. And he said, I was shocked at what some people said or about money that I was making or something. So I thought, in this whole process, God is really teaching me the only thing that matters is what I say about you. And you are my daughter. You are a daughter of the King. And I sent you on earth to do something. And this is what I need you to do. And so my passion is hospice. My passion is sharing what hospice is. So I'm going to do it. And my passion is prevention. And it's Juice Plus and sharing Juice Plus with people and not worrying about the end result. And so I don't know if that was helpful to anybody, but I really want to say what I said is really nothing new. I know that you all have heard a lot of that before in other groups or in other settings, but sometimes it's a great reminder that do life messy, have fun, and get up, dress up, and show up. And even when you don't feel like it, it's hard sometimes. When I was struggling with a medical situation, and it was hard. But I was like, I got to do this. Go in my closet, look at that T-shirt that I have hanging of Ron's shirt, and it was just a great reminder. It keeps me going. It keeps me focused. And so we all need to find that in our own lives. And many of you have. I mean, look at how much growth this team has had, and it's just so awesome to see it. And it's very inspiring to me. So if for any moment that you guys think that you're not inspiring people, I'm inspired by each of you. When I look on Facebook, and Vicki, your promotion, I'm so excited for you and how you've kept going and doing. And so many of you have showed up, you get up, you dress up, you do it. And that's what I love. So thank you so much for that. Does anybody have any questions?
Wow. See why I wanted JoAnn to share with you?
Wow, you did such a great job.
Thank you.
I have everybody frozen. Are you guys frozen? My screen is frozen.
No,
I heard you. You're not
you can hear me.
frozen. Yeah, I just saw you scratch your
beautiful
head.
job, JoAnn. Beautiful.
JoAnn is frozen for me.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
JoAnn is
JoAnn is
frozen.
frozen
Thank you.
on me. Can you give specific feedback of what did you learn from JoAnn that isn't like that nugget that you're going to go through today and say, wow, I'm going to do something a little differently because of what she said. And that kind of helps solidify what we just learned too. Anybody have a nugget that they're
I'm
just
going to
really
start coming to
resonated
Zoom
with them?
meetings with a bra on.
That's what this lady said in our other Zoom group. She said I had to start putting a bra on.
Okay, JoAnn, you do have to tell them about that. These ladies, not only do you have to take a picture of yourself each day, sometimes there's a challenge. I would love for you to share the bathing suit challenge and find out if anybody here would do that.
Okay, boldness, right? We have to get up, dress up, be bold, right? And we have a challenge every single week we have to do. The challenge I had, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I had to put my bathing suit on and I had to go to a public area and I had to have Tim, well, I took Tim, obviously, and I had to have Tim take a picture of me. And I was like, it was kind of raining out and we had just came home from my mother-in-law. We were only home for like 5 days. And so I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this assignment, right? Everybody's doing it. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So it's raining. So I don't want to go out barefoot. So I put my cowboy boots on and I put my swimsuit on. And I really didn't, we were in a hurry trying to get all these things done. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go to a public place. I'm going to go to the end of my street where my neighbors can see me. And I'm going to have Tim take the picture of me while I stand in the middle of the street. And so that's what I did. And like, there's a car that came up and they're probably like, what's going on here? But you know what? I did it. And I had to post my picture. And at first I wanted to be very critical. Oh my gosh, I'm pale. Oh my goodness. Look at no, that's not the point of the picture at all. We're not allowed to criticize our pictures at all, regardless. Like we have to just totally let go of that. And so it was actually nerve-wracking, but it was fun at the same time. So yeah, and I
Were you in Texas when you did this, or were you in Nebraska?
I was in Texas where it was actually
Okay.
a cold day. It was probably 46 and raining, misting. So yeah.
Hell, I love that.
You're
It's
braver than I am.
so bold. I love that. And I love how you wrapped it up, reminding us. It just made me think of Ron, of the see a need, fill a need, and having fun and pushing through when things are hard. And I know so often you've talked about that shirt, and Olga started it. She sent me a boxer of her wearing her shirt when she had to do something really brave, and said, just feeling, like that was giving her boldness. And he would be so proud.
I have to say, Susie had brought some shirts when we were in Missouri.
I think
It fits right here. And I look at it every single day because that's like, if Ron can do it, I can do it. And it sits. I can't move it because it's like, that's my inspiration. And just having that, I thank you for letting me have that because it means a lot.
Absolutely.
So here's my kind of weird nugget to share. This is how my mind works. First of all, as far as me being on video here, I didn't get up early enough to shower. My hair looks horrible. So I just stay off camera. But I'm being bold and getting on here. But okay, here's my weirdness. Here are the things that resonated. JoAnn, your talk was wonderful and I got so much out of it. But right at the end, everybody was talking about being frozen. First thing that came to my mind was, let it go, let it go. So that is exactly what you were telling us to do, was let it go. So I'm just seeing a little Frozen theme in here somewhere. But I like that you said just be there, just be present. That's been my challenge for several months now, is just like I turn off the camera on here, I turn off my camera on life. I go out and do things. I'm not a recluse, but I have not done Juice Plus like I need to because I just want the camera off. So that resonated with me. I am going to be more present now, and I will think of you when I do, and I will sing, let it go, let it go.
I love that. I love that. And I don't think your hair looks bad at all. I think it looks nice. And there's actually a group that I'm in that we can't even get on the Facebook, or we can't even get on the Zoom if we have our cameras blacked out. He just totally cuts us off in there. Like I already told you once, if you got your cameras off, I'm going to cut you off. You either turn them on or you get off. It's like, that has really taught me.
Yeah.
I think for me that everything was great. You did a really good job. I loved how you summarized all the amazing things that you're learning. And it's probably a little bit of piggyback off of Julie. Like, I don't know, it's been a slow progress over the last few years. I think I just exclusively am at home and it's comfortable, right? Like I'm in the season of life where I can have a hot flash at any moment. So one moment my hair is on top of my head because I'm starting to sweat, and then the next minute it's down. And sometimes it gets to looking a little crazy in those transitions it goes through, and no makeup. And I think to myself, oh, it's so nice to not have to go somewhere and get dressed up. But I didn't even know you were speaking today, JoAnn, and I saw you and I'm like, ooh, look at you, girl. You got your makeup on, your hair and your earrings, and how pretty. You're always pretty, but you just got that little extra today. And I know I love to get dressed up too. I always feel amazing when I get dressed up. And I mean, I've had my tube of mascara for so long, it's like dried out because I haven't been wearing it. I think just that, and my background, like I'm sitting here in my recliner, you can see a pile of stuff behind me, and it's, yeah, just to be how I'm showing up. So that is what I think hit me the most, was when you talked about that. And I too, Jake, will find a brassiere for next week.
I want to see everybody's bras next week.
Oh, that could
I
be
don't
the
get up.
brassiere.
When Susie asks us to get up and do some kind of activity, I'm like, nope, not doing it. Nobody wants to see that.
We'll do that before the recording starts.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
it has made me think when JoAnn, because I'd known about this during the week, and I thought, I actually went through a period where, I mean, I wouldn't have let on to you guys. I come with my sunshiny face each time, but really about those last 2 or 3 years before Ron died, it was hard. And I think I was depressed. And there were so many times that I'd be in my robe all day. And it's just like, I just couldn't, I didn't even want to go to the mailbox unless it was really early, where it would be appropriate to have your, robe on if somebody went by. And so I feel like through the course of last year, I've been doing better and better. But I'm very aware of that each day, because it is true. Even we're saying, here, share your life and everything. And how often that I think, oh, my grandgirls will be over. Oh, I don't want to have my picture because I'm a mess. Oh, yeah, I'd love to hop over and go do this with somebody, but then I'd have to take a shower. We can fall into this whole COVID kind of thing. And I think it can even make us kind of depressed. And it makes a big difference. It makes me think of all my Tony Robbins training. The very first thing he said to do to change your mindset is you have to change your physiology. And so that would be getting dressed. Get up and get dressed and make yourself feel confident, because your entire day changes from there. If we are going to stay in our robe or only wear our sweats or something like that, we're not going to feel professional. We're not going to feel like we're really running a business. And we have the potential to run multi-million-dollar businesses, each of us. And so it just has really made me, and that's why I brought up that amount, saying, gosh, we did over $90,000 of sales, just our team. We are a group of professionals. This is a massive business, right? How many home-based businesses are generating that much revenue, each month? So I just want you to be aware of that. And it's made a difference. So I just thank you so much, JoAnn. And I know our screens all just keep freezing, which is crazy today, but you really impacted me. And I will tell you, I have a coach through this inner circle, and this, I don't know if this will pertain to any of you, but I was talking about a struggle, and he said the same thing that you said, JoAnn. Well, Susie, just do it messy. Why aren't you just going to jump in and do it messy? And he says, like when you're a kid and you would just go out and play in the dirt and you'd get all messy. And I started laughing. I said, no, Anthony, I never got messy as a kid. That wasn't allowed. We were very, very, you don't get messy. You don't get dirty. You stay clean. And he said, oh, well, that's a whole deeper issue. I can't even take you in right now. He says, that's your problem. He says, you're reaching for perfection all the time. And he said, you need to just reach for excellence. Perfection's never going to happen. You're not perfect. He says, reach for excellence, and then just be glad with that. Be done. Don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it go through your head that you still haven't done this. You haven't reached this certain level. So here is JoAnn preaching to me again to go do it messy. So thank you, JoAnn. Any final comments? We're at the top of the hour, but I'm sure JoAnn would love to hear from you.
For me, JoAnn, what stuck out for me is don't be attached to the outcome. I believe that was really powerful with your speech. You always have such a drawing personality, and I thank you for your openness about everything too, because I seen you as such a strong character person, and we kind of we forget that, everybody is somebody, and that even the strong characters can hit their moments. And seeing you in one perspective, but then hearing how you had to change your frame of mind to, stop worrying about being so attached to the outcome, helped you allow the Lord to work in you so that he can work through you. And it's really showing. And that was really, like, I already wrote it down, and it's on my bulletin board and stuff, like, while you were talking. And I'm like, that's the one that hit me. I gotta read it in my face, my daily thing I'm going to read now to be reminded. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, my sweet friend Brooke. Brooke's my sweet friend from Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Yay.
We met in the Army together. And, isn't that so cool? And we've had a lot of fun times together, but isn't that just so cool how God connects us to people and the new friendships we make? I am so blessed by that. And just so many wonderful people I've met. Look at all these wonderful people on Zoom.
JoAnn, I wanted to say that I was going to say exactly the same thing that Brooke said. That's really what stuck out at me. Don't attach yourself to the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Did an excellent job.
Thank you, Ruth.
It's life-changing when you remove yourself from the outcome.
Yeah.
Or remove your emotions from the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I did that many years ago, and it was so freeing.
Well, I think we come off less desperate
Mhm.
Like for me, I could see that I was probably emitting like a desperation and just kept talking and talking. Now that I don't concern myself with the outcome and I just am letting myself be me, talk in the way I am. I think I've come from corporate, and it just kind of did a number on me a little bit in my head that I had to be a certain way. And that's kind of just not me. It's a lot easier to be me and somebody that I'm not. And those couple things have really, and being a little bit, I'm just a little bit more matter of fact. And I've had people say, well, I already eat this, or I don't like that. And it's like, well, you can think that all you want, but it doesn't negate the fact that you still got to have it. And I think that just I mean, I got promoted after 18 years. So something about my change has certainly helped my business and helped my mentality and helped me even just with my team, I think, too.
For sure.
JoAnn, so much of this helped me, and I'll try to be quick. I wrote notes, but I think for sure the not being attached to the outcome is something I've struggled with as well. And I come from corporate too, Lori, and so I can identify with that. You know, you have a specific agenda and you're like programmed for 30 years that these are your objectives that you have to meet. And so it's hard to not break the rules of throwing up on people. And for me, my struggle with for the past couple of years is like, I felt not authentic, you know, when I'm attached to the outcome, but I'm sharing my heart. And I just think this past 6 months has been really cool. And I'm super glad I tuned in today, even though I'm not as dressed up as I usually am on a Monday morning. But doing it messy is okay. And I think that the big thing for me too is keep doing it messy, you know, like don't stop. And I had a little bit of a win that you made me think of that I kind of forgot about. So I appreciate it. I had another cold last week. And so I had my husband take the kids to the orthodontist appointment, which was a bit of a disaster having him take them. But anyway, good thing that came out of it was he ran into a friend, and there's a group that was kind of like your outfit story, JoAnn, like, you know, negative and criticism. And there was a group that I'd been talking to about Juice Plus, and they're very into fitness and very into nutrition. And as Susie knows, they were a group that when I started in the business, I thought this is perfect, you know, and it was really disappointing and discouraging when there was one person in that group that started kind of criticizing the product and criticizing what I was doing. And it really caused me to shut down. And there's been a couple of times where I've been approached again, and this person tends to surface and grab the person I'm talking to. And it makes me, and so it makes me be very self-conscious about what I'm saying. And you try not to make assumptions, but so I don't share what I feel like I should share. It's just a really weird situation. But anyway, so one of the individuals was there with her son, and I didn't go. But my husband was there. And it was interesting because she felt comfortable approaching my husband and saying, you know, they were having a conversation. Again, take a note, just having a conversation, no expected outcome, right? And she said, so I need to get, she said, Kirsten's 50, isn't she? And most of these women are, you know, 10 to 15 years younger. And he said, yeah, he said, you know, she's really into her nutrition, isn't she? Something along those lines. And he's like, yeah, I'm really proud of her. She is really committed and, you know, loves helping people, you know, achieve their goals or whatever he said. And again, no script. And so, and she's like, you know, I really need to reach out to her. I really need to make that a priority. I really think that that's great. And I admire that she does that. So again, I need to kind of walk away and be like, okay, so my conversations haven't been for naught, you know, my, you know, showing up and living what I think of hasn't been for naught. It has reached out, you know, it has served a purpose, you know, regardless of whether it's Juice Plus or not. So anyway, it's just helping me kind of, as I'm kind of doing this exploration and connecting the dots and continuing to do it. That was a win, you know, it's not necessarily tangible or whatever, but it was a huge win that it's still relevant. So anyway, it's all over the board a little bit, but it's coming together in my head. Thank you.
You are welcome. And just, you know what? I learned that people are insecure and they're jealous. And so, but you still have a message to share. And obviously somebody wants to hear it if they keep approaching you.
All right, team.
I think Angela wanted to say something. Hold on, Angela. I think I've got you muted on the phone. Oh, shoot. I don't know if I can unmute you now.
Can she unmute herself?
Yeah, well, I don't know on the phone if you can, because there was sound coming through earlier. So, oh, shoot. The way that Zoom does this, I can't unmute anymore.
She's on, oh yeah, she can't.
She's actually on a phone, but yeah. Well, we had her on a screen in front of her tower garden
Yeah,
for a
but
while.
she's not hooked up. There we go. Try
It
that,
worked?
Angela. Oh,
We can't hear you.
can't hear you. Can you hang up your phone and call back in? Are you on the phone?
Are you on your Zoom? She's on her Zoom.
Yeah, there's no.
There's no sound coming from you.
Angela, if you can exit the meeting and come back in, it'll just take 15 seconds. If you come back in, then you won't be muted when you come back in.
Yeah.
And you know what? Melanie's not here today, but I want to brag on her because she does not, she's very much an introvert, but she does not back down on anything. And she wanted to, when I was talking to her about three-way calls, she said she wanted to learn, okay, well, how do you do a three-way call? What do you want? What do you say? What do you look for? So I just gave a quick little training on three-way calls. And, she's been in the business only 1 year, but she's doing her own three-way connection calls. And she felt good about it. She just went in to do it messy, and I think that's fantastic. So, and her promotion to sales coordinator is official too. So we'll be posting that one. And I know she's probably sleeping right now, but the growth in this team and what you ladies, I think for a lady, what you're choosing, and she did three-way call with Emily. Emily says she did amazing. What you're choosing to do to step out of your comfort zone and grow in this last year it's really been exciting. So, very,
Angela's
very
back on. Do you have volume for you, Angela?
Yes, I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. JoAnn, I loved your speech. I thought that was an awesome presentation. And the topics you mentioned, surprisingly, I was listening to a broadcast yesterday, and it touched on so many of what you said. The idea, the guy was saying that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, the cemetery, because so many people die with their books inside of them, their stories, the business that they were supposed to start and they never did. So you choosing to be bold, to doing it, even if it's been done imperfectly, is an inspiration to me. And, I went to bed last night saying, Lord, I do not want to die with my book inside of me. I do not want to die and not achieve the things you have already set in place for me, because we are we're a seed. But this guy was saying, God is so awesome. He starts at the beginning and he starts at the end, and we're at the beginning. You're the seed, but he has already made us into a forest. So we need to step forward to become the potential that is within us. And your speech today, JoAnn, just reminded me that I have the potential. You have the potential. All of us are equipped with this potential, and I need to get going. So thank you very much.
Amen, sister. Thank you. And if you guys have not ever been on Clubhouse, it's really a lot of fun, and I've met a lot of people through that. But also 3 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday, Angela and myself and another gal, Dr. Vera, do Nursing Through Nutrition. And I've learned a ton already, because Dr. Vera does another call on Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central. But I've just learned so much in listening to her, but it's just so beneficial that we can share too with other people. So, and we're all, we're all Juice Plus people. So that's even more awesome.
Very cool. All right. Well, a final round of applause for JoAnn being bold and sharing her message today. Woo! Everybody's screen's frozen, but they're clapping for you, JoAnn.
Nobody else's screen was frozen, Susie. It must be you.
Oh, really? Oh, everybody's been frozen all morning on mine,
No.
unless you talk. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging on a little later today. Wow, was it worth it? And so you all go out there and remember, God's gift to you is unlimited potential, and our gift back to God is to use that potential. And that goes right along with what JoAnn taught you today. So, all right. I love you all so much.
Thank you.
I have an announcement.
Bye.
I have an announcement for those of you in the Nebraska area. In the 25th and on that evening, and then the 26th, we have the Nebraska Regional. So if you've not yet got your ticket and you want a more amazing training like this, we will be hosting Janet Black, none other than Janet Black from the home office, as well as the new guy from the Tower Guard Department. I can't think of his name. I've not met him yet. And we'll have a host of other really awesome speakers and trainers from across the Nebraska area. So I encourage you to get your, and Leanne Harris. Oh man, she's on fire.
Wow.
She's coming in and she's giving the public talk on Friday. Friday is free. If you go to the Eventbrite, it's just look for Prevention Nebraska, look up Nebraska Regional, something like that. Juice Plus Nebraska Regional. And just buy the ticket on Saturday. That'll get you for the whole weekend, and Friday is free. So just an FYI if you're in the Nebraska area.
Right. Take care.
That'll be amazing.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks again, JoAnn. It was fantastic.
Thank you.